It's Monday. Thank God it's Monday. You notice how we got a TGIF, but I haven't really heard anybody say TGIM. Because usually Monday is like the first day of the work week, and people hate Mondays. It's a bad relationship. Oh my Lord. People have a bad relationship with Mondays. Oh, did I leave my glasses at home? Urgh. I don't know what that was. I left my glasses. And had all of that time over the weekend and still did not get this car situation situated. This car looks actually pretty bad. I didn't do anything overly productive this weekend. Oh Lord, I almost crashed. Jesus. What? What happened? Anyway, yeah, TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. This Monday, I don't have a class until the afternoon. And I only have one class to teach. It is going to be a class. What is the lecture on? I don't even know what the lecture is on, honestly. I know there's one on Agile Combat Employment and Mission Ready Airmen. I'm not teaching that one because I got a doctor's appointment. But there's another one that I have before that I honestly didn't even look at it over the weekend. That's how my weekend was. I am struggling to even remember what I did during the weekend. I woke up, spent money. So tax money hit Friday, a whole bunch of tax money. I feel stupid now because I recently have had my perspective enlightened on what getting a large income return or income tax return. It's basically I loaned the federal government and the state government to a lesser extent. I gave them a 0 interest loan. And so while it usually is like, hey, I'm tax rich, party, let's spend this money. It was your money to begin with. When you think about the concept of taxes, like you're supposed to give X amount, you paying money into the kitty, right? And so you driving on roads, you like to use roads, you like to use all of these facilities, and you like for things to look nice. Well, that costs money. And in order for us to function as a higher society, we have to get together and we have to support the sustainment of the infrastructure. We'll say it like that. And so the thing is, you cannot charge the government interest, or can you? If you can, the government owes me a lot of money. So first reason why my income tax is kind of large, one, I have 6 children. So, doing those tax credits, I think it's like $1,500 a kid. So 15 times 6 off the rip. Not even considering any money I may have loaned the government, but off the rip, 15 times 6. That's pretty hefty. And then throw on top of that the money that they kept over and above what was required for my tax bracket for whatever purposes. I really do need to look into the whole tax code of why and the how and the what. But one of my colleagues was telling me you have to fill out a form, a W-4, and that W-4 is going to cause you to adjust how much is set aside for the federal government and for the state government. And so, I mean, I share it, you know. What up, Major? Communist Party of Mississippi. What's going on? And so, yeah, you see that. So I pulled 15K back. So in addition to them 6 tax credits, like an extra 6K on top of that. And I used to feel good about that, like, hey, look at that. You just loaned the government more of your own money that you could have done whatever it is that you desire with it. Because typically the government is going to waste your money. So much so to the point that they have like agencies and bureaucracies that are out here trying to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse. Thank you for that thumbs up. I appreciate that. Communist Party of Mississippi says, and time. What you mean by that? I can't really look at the chat. I'm saying things, and I'm assuming that you were responding to what I was saying. And so I wasn't even paying attention to what I was saying. That's crazy, right? Because I expect y'all to pay attention, but I ain't even paying attention. They're gonna waste your money and time. That's a fact. That's a fact. Which is why you're a member of the Communist Party, because the Republicans is not really doing it for you. The Democrats, somebody called them Demorats. I thought that was funny. Demorats. That's funny. That's funny. I thought that was funny. And so they're not really doing anything. And independence is just like, y'all not organized enough. It's too much. Like, what are you guys doing? It's a big pile of everything. You know, the Republicans that couldn't win, the Democrats that couldn't win, they just go independent. That's pretty much how I see independent anyway. Or independent is the people that have a fear of commitment. I like how he got these latex gloves on, yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Good, how about you?
All right, that's a great idea, having those latex gloves on.
Yes, sir, it is. Everyone always questions
Oh,
me.
no, I get it. I get it. All right. He is the first airman I've seen that has latex gloves. It's nasty. Think about it. These IDs, cell phones, people stuff, all that stuff is nasty. People are nasty. They touch everything, and then they touch their car and give it to you, and you get sick. Smart kid. But anyway, yeah. So I just wasted all of that money. I could have set aside. Now that tax credit. That's the government. That was theirs. They gave it to me. But that extra 6K, I could have invested that 6K. Somebody has a message for review. I hope it's not anything ridiculous. Oh, okay. It's Art Int 167. He says something in Arabic. Let me see if I could translate it. Wallah. Is that Wallah? Does this Wallah? No, that doesn't say Wallah. I don't know what to say, man. I used to kind of try to get the letters and everything. I need to get back on my Arabic, is what I'm saying. But if anybody sees that in the chat, can you just copy and paste that and put that on Google Translate or whatever translate you use, and let me know what my guy said, because I'd like to acknowledge him. First, I acknowledge you, and I thank you for joining the chat. I'm sorry I don't speak the language, but I did spend a year in like adjacent to the culture, and I found it fascinating. I was in the United Arab Emirates, and like when I had one of these things on, the things that's on the head. So let me tell y'all a funny story. Cause I have like, some people, they would say like, man, you got kind of like a Arab nose a little bit. That's what somebody said. And it was an Arab person that said it. They said I had a beautiful nose, and they said it looked Arab. It's probably a little bit of European and a little bit of African in there. It might be some Arabic, who knows? But when I went there, I had one of these on. I forget what it's called. The men wear them too. And I took this picture and I posted it on my Facebook. Now, the people that been here before, y'all know that, you know, I'm in church, and I was raised in church. But they saw that, like, the church people that I grew up with, they were like, oh my gosh, he gonna turn Muslim, this and that. And it was like, okay, all right, that's strike one. That's strike one. I tried to share a little culture with y'all, but I see y'all are afraid to get that. That's strike one. And then I had I had two of my master sergeants. Are you 5'4"? No, I'm not 5'4". That's just the angle of the camera. It's upright and it's just up higher. Angles, it's all about the angle. They say the camera adds an extra 10, 20 pounds. Nah, my face is really down and this fat. I could use some more running. But no, I'm not 5'4". I'm 5'8". Aha, don't take my 4 inches. Anyway, yeah. So the second strike was I put a picture of my master sergeant. I had two master sergeants, and they were of the female persuasion. We went to Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world. And I took a picture like this. We were having fun. It was one master sergeant on this side, one master sergeant on that side. They were both female. In hindsight, you know, I was like, okay, how would you feel if your wife got on in social media and she was like thousands of miles away and she's like, ah, you know, while you got the kids at the house and you stressed out. It like babies. They were babies. My oldest was like, okay, 2014. He was 6 or 5 or 6. And my second born was 2. And so she's stressed out and she's seeing that. Now it just so happened, y'all, I wasn't thinking. I was young and dumb. I'm a little bit older and I'm a little bit less dumber, but I'm still dumb. I'm gonna tell you a story about that, why I say that. So in this picture, there just so happened to be a very attractive woman that was in the photo. One of my master sergeants, she was very attractive. She was like extremely attractive. And like nobody saw the other person in the picture. It was like John Cena was standing next to me, and it was just me and this attractive lady. And so really, like, this hand is almost down, and I'm just like this with one woman in the picture. Nobody commented on the other girl because it was like, well, she wasn't attractive. Well, she wouldn't be a problem. Like, that's a common misconception that a lot of women make, and a lot of people make, I think. They think that you're gonna like be unfaithful with the most attractive person. Nah, I would be curious to see like the stats. You're probably gonna be more unfaithful with the least attractive person. The person that you don't have no guard with. Like I was never gonna be in a situation with that individual that was very attractive, because it's like I'm always on guard. I'm always guarded. If you say something out the way, whoa, chill. If I say something out the way, I'm not. Because I ain't gonna do that. One, because we got to work together. Oh shoot. We got to work together, and I just don't need those problems. And so then that was only 2 strikes. They commented like on, oh my God, he done turned Muslim. Just because I'm literally in a different society. Good morning. I'm just living. What's up? You ain't never heard the story. You have heard this story. I'm just living. I know who you are. Yes, I do. You heard this story? I'm talking about how when I deployed and I took the picture with I can't remember what the headrest is called, but I took a picture with that, and then I took a picture with my 2 master sergeants in the world's tallest building. And the grief that my wife received as a result of them 2 pictures, like people was in her inbox like, is everything okay? How you doing? I'm so sorry. Like planting seeds of doubt in her mind. Like, oh man, he done went out over there and lost his mind. And so that was the first time I was bullied on social media. I literally got bullied off of social media. I took my account, shut it down. Bam. Shut it down. We're done here. Y'all not gonna be, oh, you know the person that was in the DMs. You know him. You know him. We grew up with him. They were a Sunday school teacher. And of the female persuasion. And you know, their husband, their widow right now. So that's a lot. That's a lot. You know, with them clues, grew up with them, Sunday school teacher, female, and a widow. Those 4 clues, that narrowed. You know who I'm talking about. So, so in Christine DMs, she already emotional. Poor thing. She already emotional. And I was like, oh, shut it down. Shut it down. Now, I could have just did a behavior modification, and I did actually. Oh, how we doing? Yeah. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. My bad. So a lot of times people, I had to get a schedule situated. My students was emailing me or texting me like, hey, we got class in the morning? Nah, not according to the schedule that the scheduler sent me. Do y'all not have the schedule? If you don't, not a big deal. But anyway, they stress her out so bad. Now, I have done behavior modifications. And what I ended up doing was, if you see me in the picture, you typically don't see me touching anybody. I'm not putting my hands. And it was strictly 100% platonic, totally innocent. But I understand how, like, you might, cause my wife at the time she was like, when I saw the picture, the first time I saw the picture, I was like, I didn't think anything of it. But then somebody got in my ear, and I was like, well, wait a minute. You know, should I be upset? Is everything okay? Just casting a lot of doubt. And what honestly was happening probably was that person was having doubts, and they was just kind of projecting their doubts. But yeah, so I shut it down. And what I learned from that in the future was just don't touch nobody. Like, keep your hands to yourself. Like, I had a picture with the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, and she was in the middle, and I was like on the right side, and my mentor was on the left side. Now, my mentor is a single male. Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force was a married female, and she's, you know, varying degree of attractive, if you want to call it that. Yes, confusion, 100% confusion, and so this what I did in the picture. I stood at parade rest. The chief, she's like this. She did what I did. Now, Chief got Ron. Her husband name is Ron. And Ron was at the house. Ron is good because Ron know his woman. And Ron isn't tripping. Now, Ron know his woman like black men. So maybe Ron was tripping, but I got to think she made it that far, and their relationship is still intact. So I got to think like they had an understanding of what it was. But yeah, but I was at parade rest. So now, anytime you see me in the picture, if it's a female, even if it's a male in the picture, I'm at parade rest. Unless it's one of my brothers, I'm at parade rest. I don't touch people. I don't want to get it twisted. But yeah, so the situation that happened yesterday, to show how I still kind of really didn't learn. I got a little bit older, a little bit wiser, a little bit more grace, but still my wisdom is just barely increasing. I went to the water well. We have artesian wells all around Alabama, and this well that I went to is like one of the nicer ones. They even have like little creek in the back that like people love to just swim in it. I haven't got there yet because people do drown in that. Anyway, I went to go get the water, and so I'm filling up my water, and this car pulls up like right in front of me. Now I'm on my deacon attire. It almost looked like I was Easter fresh. I had like a powder blue vest on, the yellow tie, little polka dot shirt, brown pants. I was looking nice. I did look nice. And then I had my son's shoes on. My son got like these fake gators, call them faders. And he had them on. I mean, I had them on yesterday, and I looked like a Southern Baptist deacon yesterday. Although I'm not Baptist, I'm apostolic. And so I'm out there and I'm getting my water, and this car pulls up right in front of me. I'm like, why would this person do that? Like, there's literally both sides. We didn't have to do that. And so person gets out, and I'm getting my water, and it's a lady. It's a lady. She pulled up. It's a lady. She pulled up like she was the cops. Like, no, you ain't going nowhere, sucker. I got you now. And I'm putting the water on, and she's like, oh, you like this water, huh? I'm like, yeah, it's just delicious. I'm so glad somebody told me about it. I love it. I've been coming here for a while. She's like, oh, I'm from here. I'm 70 years old. She giving me her whole bio. She's like, yeah, this water, blah, blah, blah. How come you don't get water at the other place? And the lady's 70 years old. 40s. And I ain't even thinking like that. Not thinking like that. Like, she's 70. She good. Right? Should be. Ain't see no ring on no fingers. She a widow, I'm guessing. But I was like, she's 70? She looks really in shape. Now, I thought that in my mind. I was like, she's very in shape. She does not look 70. I feel like some cap is going on. She looks like she's about 50. The way she got out, how surprised she was, how she was moving, how she was interacting, I was like, she doesn't look 70. I don't think this lady's telling the truth. But I just kept that in my mind, because you tell a lady that and now you flirting. So keep it in your mind. Boom. Don't react. And I'm getting the water, and like, she just keeps talking. We keep talking. Now, we in the South. My experience in the South has been that people is not really that friendly. It's been, I talked about it the other day, it's the don't trust them new N-words. That's been my experience down here in Montgomery, Alabama. Do not trust them. Amongst the blacks, we don't trust. Like, I don't know you. Who you? I don't know you. That's been my experience. But she was very friendly. You know, I'm in my church attire. She had her church attire on. And so anyway, she starts telling me, oh, yeah, I've been drinking this water since I was a little girl. We had a creek in the back that was connected to the artesian well, and I just found out all these years later. I never knew. In fact, the water from, there's a well connected underneath the church grounds that we on. I said, oh, yeah, what church you go to? Because I'm about to invite her to church. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, you a church lady? Let me invite you to my church. Let me get you some word opinion, because I know they ain't got no word over there at that church that you at. I just already know. But anyway, that's how my mind was working. And she was like, oh, I'll go to this Baptist church over here. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. And then I finished, and I got my water. I was like, well, you have a good one. God bless you. She said, okay, God bless you too. I get back to the car, and I'm like, boom. This is me. It's a skit. I close the door and get in, and my wife like this. Like, what's wrong with you, baby? I already know what's wrong. I already know what's wrong. I was like, I didn't do nothing. She was good before I got out the car. I didn't really do nothing. Oh, there's a black woman that just came out, pulled up in front of the car. What I didn't know is on her way to on the lady's way to the well, she walked past my vehicle, and she's looking all up in my car, and she's looking at my wife. Didn't say, hey, how y'all doing? Nothing, no speaky, but just looking, eyeballing, just kind of like, I don't know, sizing her up or whatever. And then, so my wife, the whole time, she's just watching. I didn't notice. She watching the interaction, and she's like, like what? And she said, you so dumb. Like, what you talking about? He's like, that lady, blah, 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 this and that, then that. I wasn't even thinking about that lady like that. I didn't know her. She didn't know me. And by hindsight, like, oh, she pulled up on me. She pulled up on me and she wanted to know what time it was. She checked the temperature. This 70-year-old lady checked the temperature on me. And I'm like, and then she sizing up my wife on the way to the thing. I'm like, she's 70 though. 70 nowadays is not 70s when we was kids. And so what I understand now is, yeah. She was like, you so stupid. She like, my wife like, you so stupid. You ain't, she said, when these old men be out here trying to talk to me, you know what I do? If the conversation went on too long, okay, all right, cut them off. Why you still talking? You too friendly. Like, like, you right. I just had to hold that ill. I was like, you absolutely right. You right. You right. You right. You right. I just held it. Exactly. Zip it. Zip it. Cause what are we doing? So I like to think of myself as this emotionally intelligent person that's like got a decent amount of situational awareness. But when it comes to like those types of matters, I'm kind of dumb. I am a little bit. I think if that was my mindset, if I was acting like that, if I was on the hunt, if I was moving in that way, I probably would be a little bit more aware. But sometimes I be projecting my thought processes on other people. Like I ain't thinking about you like that. So you ain't thinking about me like that. You just being friendly. It's great weather out here. We out here standing out here waiting for the water to finish. Rather than awkwardly standing there just or on the phone, just engage. That's how I was looking at it as. But I learned the lesson yesterday. Especially when somebody pull up like that, like right in front of your car when they didn't have to get in your line of sight. They didn't have to do that. Just recognize what time it is. And just oh, okay, all right. Okay, God bless you. And just keep it moving. Yeah. So that was what I learned yesterday. I'm smart in some areas, but kind of dumb in some other areas. Gotta know your strengths and weaknesses. But there was one last thing I wanted to talk about. And I ain't on no schedule, and it's hot in this car because my AC don't work. But let me show y'all something real quick. I think this is it. All right. So I woke up in the morning, and I don't know what other people's routines are, but this what my routine look like. I wake up in the morning when my body tells me to wake up, and usually it's associated with light. I see some light. It's starting getting a little bit light bluer on the inside of my eyes. It's not like dark anymore. I can see light, dark blue and light blue. It's time to get up. What I noticed is there'd be a lot of thoughts and a lot of like creativity and like questions. There's been times when I woke up where I feel like it was the Lord that would just speak to me and let me know different things. Like I got kids on the spectrum, and we transitioned, we shifted and got serious for a second. I have kids on the spectrum, and one of my kids, when you have multiple kids, having a kid that's on the spectrum, if they're like a wanderer, if they're like a get into stuff, it can be stressful because you don't get a break and you always got to kind of be paying attention to what they're doing. And so when I had one of my kids, he was that way. We would put him like in a high chair while we did whatever we was doing. And the Lord told me, like in the early morning, like meditation and devotion, he's like, you are not treating your son the right way. You should not be doing that. And I was like, well, but what am I supposed to do? And the thought was, you're supposed to love that kid. You created that kid. Yeah, you didn't get that kid autism, but that's what he had. And you got to care for that kid as the caretaker. So stop doing that. And I shared that with my wife, and she was like, oh my God, you're right. We shouldn't be doing that. And it was just something as simple as just strapping him in a chair. All right, you cutting up, get in this chair. So now you punishing this kid. This chair is like a form of punishment and restraint. They do that. Some places, that's how they treat people with those conditions. They sit them down. But like, that's not a love move. You got to learn how that kid operates. You got to learn your kids. Spend some time with them learning. Other day on the live, I don't know if y'all saw it. Y'all probably didn't. But I was cutting his hair. He was the most difficult because he's got sensory challenges. And I'm cutting his hair, and he's fussing, and he's going off. And so what I used to do, because it worked with my other older kids that were on the spectrum, I used to get like forceful. They needed force, and they just needed to understand that it's haircut time, sit your butt still, stop moving. The sooner you stop moving, the more still you stay, the quicker I'm gonna finish. And I could give that to them, and they would eventually fall in line. I tried to give that to my one that I was cutting yesterday, and that didn't work with him. He just retreated further into himself and just started screaming and just going off. And so what I started doing is I started letting him know. That's why I call him number one, because he needed to know that he's important to me, and he needed to know that he matters, and he needed to know that I love him. And so I called him number one. And if you didn't see the video, just check the video out. It's on a live stream. It's fairly early in the live stream. I said, you doing so good, number one. And you know what he said? It touched my heart. He's 7, almost 8. And we had verbal delays for 4. Okay, I'm trying to count how many kids I got. I got 5 boys. The youngest boy, he's probably a little delayed. So like all 5 boys really had slight verbal delays, and some of them was on different degrees. But this particular child is like on the far right of the delay. And so he just learning how to speak really and put sentences together. And so I said, you doing so good, number one. He said, thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. So that told me, got a little emotional. That told me he don't respond to the force. You don't have to use force with him. All you have to use with him is just positive words and words of affirmation. And that will get him. But I started this stupid green screen background because I was trying to get something maybe to help somebody out here. Let me get out the way real quick. So what does that say? And I use ChatGPT a lot. ChatGPT helped me get my thoughts together. It says, lucid creativity routine. Accepts creative insight right after waking. And I don't do this. Seeding your mind, I don't do that. Maybe I do, because I pray. And when I'm praying before I go to sleep, and I'm praying when I wake up. And so my mind, the Lord will just drop things in my mind. And so he dropped something today in my mind on creativity. There's something like this other deacon at the church, him and I, I'm a divert, go on a tangent. I do that. So my pastor was like, Deacon Quentin, he'll call me at 6 in the morning. And you know, because his mind, he just need to get it out because his mind be going. He's up that early and he's moving and he's going around. He's going about. And so his mind is moving and thinking of different ways to increase and to grow. And he just had to share that with somebody. And he said, I love you. He said, I love you, Dink. But could you call that 10? And I said, and I sent him a text. I was joking halfway, but I was for real. I said, Dink, I be up. I was laughing when he said that too. I love my pastor. And he said, I sent him a text. I was like, hey, D, you can send me a text. I be up. And he said, LOL. He said, all right, bet. And so we've been talking about little ventures, about things that we're starting, and a lot of it revolves around like ministry. Like, how can we, because people don't like to talk. People act like the church, there is an aspect of the church. It's about gospel, it's about soul saving, but there's a business aspect too. Because everything we do in this life, you got to give Caesar what's his. And so what does that mean? Stuff runs on money. And so you got to have money. And it's not like you loving money, but you're using money like it's intended to be used, like it's a tool. And so I'm about to start the LLC, and I have this career that I had before I entered into the military dentistry, that although I'm not pursuing it, my mind still be thinking about it. And so I woke up this morning and I had like this idea, and it started off as like, what if? Like right when I was waking up. And so I finished reading, and I finished saying my prayers, and I was like, all right, don't let this little dream state you in, the thoughts is flowing, don't let that moment pass you by. And so this is what the thing with, I asked ChatGPT about it. I was like, hey, is it like some type of creative thing happening in your mind when you first wake up? Because I feel like my mind be on a different wavelength or something. And it did say, as you're waking up in that like cloudy state, there is a part of your brain, like the judgment and logic part of your brain, that it kind of gets turned off while you sleep. Because that's like a lot of the brain power and a lot of the like the common sense, that part of your brain, it'll filter out a lot of stuff that's like, nah, that can't happen, or no, that's not feasible, or that doesn't make sense, or why would you think that? That's like it's like the adult part of your brain. It's like negative. But this thing said, wake up gently, no loud alarms. That's how I wake up. It says, keep your eyes closed for 1 to 3 minutes. Yeah, I don't do that necessarily. It said, let thoughts, fragments, or images rise. And so this thing says what you were supposed to do before you went to sleep, was you're supposed to ask yourself a question and focus on the challenge. And say, how can I solve whatever? What's a fresh idea for whatever? Write it down or say it aloud. And then skipping back down, it says, upon waking, stay still. And then after you get those thoughts and fragments or images, don't analyze anything. Like, don't let your mind start judging and telling you why it ain't gonna work. Just receive it. Just listen to it. Let me go to this next one. I'm trying to help somebody here. Because you probably got some creativity in your mind that's locked away a little bit. But it says, keep a journal or voice recorder next to your bed. Jot down phrases, emotions, random thoughts, and dream fragments. This is not mystical. I don't think it's mystical because I ain't about that mysticality. I ain't into that. That's not. And I done told my ChatGPT that's not where we're going. My ChatGPT know which version of the Bible I read, KJV. You can give me that NIV, but you know my version is KJV. So if I'm asking you where the scripture is, don't give me the NIV interpretation or the International Children's Bible. Don't give me those versions. Those are good versions, but it's not KJV. Okay. And then it says, so, capture all of that stuff. I don't write because I feel like it would become too much of a process where I try to do it daily, and I don't have thoughts daily. like these insightful thoughts. It's just the Lord to drop it. Yeah, my bad, y'all. My phone got too hot. It ain't give me no warning. I'm at 1%. I had it in the stupid windshield and forgot. It's hot out here in Montgomery. But anyway, yeah, look for metaphors, themes. Screenshot this because my battery about to die. Here's the last thing. Okay, but I'm gonna put a Bible spin on it always. And I never looked at this scripture like this, but I'm gonna look into this one. Psalm 16:7, KJV. He gives me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons. So the Lord be leading you through the night, through those difficult times, through those uncertain times, because night is like a dangerous time. It's not day. You maybe can't see where you're going. So when you can't see where you're going, the Lord is leading you. Anyway, be blessed, y'all. Have a good one.